I'd like to welcome everybody to the November 2019 meeting of the Homebrew Robotics Club. My name is Osman Aralp. I'm the president of the club. I just wanted to say that for the last time because as part of our meeting tonight, we're going to have our annual officer elections, which I'll talk about in just a minute. I want to make sure, first of all, how many new people are here tonight? Anybody here for the first time? Great, awesome. Thanks for coming. It's important that everybody has a badge. So if you don't have one, you can pick up a temporary badge on the desk in the back. The restrooms, if you need them, are right through the doors on the right over there. Please don't wander off anywhere else between this room and the restroom. Google is very kind to let us use their facility, but they want to make sure that we don't go anywhere that we're not supposed to be.
Yay, Google.
Yeah. Thank you, Google. So the way the meeting works is that first we go over any club news, general robot-related news, and then we have show and tell for the first approximately hour of the meeting where people come up and show the robots that they're working on. And then we have a presentation, which will start around 8:15, somewhere in there. And our presenter this month is going to be our very own Wayne Gramlich, who's going to talk about Python for robots. I think that's all of the general information that I had. So before we do the elections, I wanted to bring up Dan Tuckler to give a brief overview of our finances for the past year.
Okay, so I've been treasurer for about 6 months since Chris went off to sail around the world, but he came back. Anyway, we closed the year with 111 members, and people that have been around here for a long time think that's the all-time high. I think that's probably true. So 111 members is pretty impressive. We collected $1,090 from memberships. We printed up 139 badges, so that's about 1.25 per member, because there's some people that have 2 or 3, or I think that the peak is somebody has 7 family members, and that's great. You know, this is a really great deal to pay $10 for a year of membership. It's totally optional. With the benefit of the membership is that you get a badge, you get to be eligible for voting, you get to be eligible for giveaways that you might hear about in a few minutes. But really it's about supporting the club. It's about being committed to the club and wanting to help support it and keep it going. 2020 memberships are now open. I have a sign-up sheet. So when you, if you want to pay cash and join right now for 2020, you can. Otherwise, a really efficient way to do it is PayPal, and the instructions for PayPal are on the website. Make sure you use the option for friends and family rather than buying a good or service. If you buy a good or service, then there's a service fee, and it makes the accounting a mess, and we have to come back and ask you to pay that service fee. So it's much better if you remember to pick the option under PayPal for friends and family. Let's see what else. If you want to join, I'll just ask you to sign up and contribute $10 for the year. As far as money, today's balance in the club is now $4,800. So that's quite a bit. It's been building up for several years now. So, you know, with another, if we have another successful year, this is going to get close to $5,500 or $6,000. So the question comes up, what should we do with that money? The expenses in the past have been higher. We've had to rent rooms in the past. We've had to get audiovisual equipment to support the club meetings in more bare rooms than this beautiful room. So it's good that we're collecting the money, but now that we have a pretty good safety fund there, it is an interesting question. What else can we do to put that money to work? The expenses for the club are mostly the website and some incidentals, the materials for printing badges, some office supplies and things like that, ink. But it's pretty low. So we have some good opportunities here. You know, it's pretty sad that Maker Faire is no longer around, and the Robo Games and Robo Magellan, those contests are not around anymore. So it opens the possibility of, can we set up some events on our own, and would the money be needed to do something like that? So what I'd like to do, or we could just buy a lot of beer. What I'd like to do is set up some kind of a working group to get input from people on what they think is a good use for the funds. Because just keeping the balance building over years, I think, is probably not making the most of our opportunity here. So I'll be sending out details about some kind of meeting for a working group to look at use of funds. Yeah, that's it. Are there any questions?
Can we just have a discussion about that on the news group itself, or did you want to get together and do a physical meeting?
Either one's fine with me. We could start with a discussion on the news group. Sure.
Kegger.
Another Botnik. Last summer we had the first Botnik, and I thought it was a great event. So we could do another one of those. That was really fun. Yeah, so I'll be looking for good input.
Kegger if the robot carries the keg.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, I'm somehow conflating Kegger and Botnik. So, there's some good opportunities there. Anything else?
We've always benefited from somebody's membership in some organization for the savings. We should be prepared to step in if someone can't offer that benefit at the city location.
Maker Nexus.
Yeah,
In
that's
Sunnyvale.
great input. So I'll start a discussion on the forum, and we'll get some good inputs. Okay, thanks a lot, folks.
Thanks, Dan. Okay, next on the agenda tonight is our annual officer elections. So our elections are generally very unexciting because we have never had a contested position. But since we are a unincorporated association, we do have bylaws, and as part of those bylaws, we do have to hold an official election. So what I'll do is I'll announce the positions and who's running for each position, and then we'll just vote them in as a group. You have to be a paid member in order to vote, so please keep that in mind. So the positions that we have for next year are, first is president, and for that position running we have Chris Mayer.
Yay.
The next position is treasurer secretary, and Dan Tuckler is going to run again for that position.
Yay.
We have sergeant at arms, which is Arthur Waite in the background. We have Arthur to thank for getting us this wonderful facility. We have Wayne Gramlich, who is our chair, program chair. And finally, webmaster, Mark Johnston. Thanks very much. He's running again. So those are the positions and the people running for them. Again, if you're a paid member, you can vote. So what I'd like to see is a show of hands for all those who are in favor of voting in the officers just mentioned. Please raise your hand. Thank you. Any opposed? Okay, with that, we have our new officers for 2020. Thank you very much to all the officers for volunteering for next year. But I'd also like to point out that the club relies not just on the formal officer positions, but there are a lot of other people who have donated their time to the club. We have Camp, who runs the challenges that we have 3 times a year. We have Bill, who is here at every meeting, taking a video to make sure that nobody ever forgets what goes on at these meetings and posts them on YouTube. Then we have other people, Ralph organizes part of the challenges, and the Botnik. The Botnik was quite a success last year. So there are a lot of other people who help with the club. So I'd like to thank all of those people as well for their hard work over the past year. And if anybody else would like to volunteer, there's always ways that you can help the club. Even if you have a little bit of time, on a couple of weekends, like Dan mentioned, there might be a committee that might help figure out how we want to use some of our funds. There's always events to organize. We're going to do the Botnik again this year. Maybe we need some help to organize that. So if you'd like to donate a little bit of your time, that would be greatly appreciated too. Okay, so there's a couple other bits of robot news. Wayne, did you want to talk about
Yeah,
how we might change the challenges next year?
Oh, okay, there was. I was gonna raise that point.
So, let's see, we've been doing the challenges the same way for
17 years.
a long time.
Not that he's counting.
And we were noticing that people weren't showing up with robots earlier in the year. And we sort of came to the conclusion that the challenges were really what were causing people to do robot development.
Yes.
So the proposal is going to be that we do quarterly challenge meetings. And the way this would work is we would have a talk, a presentation on January and February, and we would have a March challenge meeting. And then there would have an April and May presentation, followed by a June challenge, which is the same as we've always had. That would also include our potluck dinner, which is sort of a tradition. Then we'd have presentations in July and August, followed by a challenge in September, and then presentations in October, November. And then in December, we don't have an official meeting, but we do have our swap meet that we've been doing for a long time at the SIG. So we think that'll balance things out a little more and hopefully get a little more robot building going, because that's what we really like to see happening in this club is more robots. Yes.
Just one additional suggestion. I think a thing that's been also demotivating to me is the people that actually come to these contests, bring the robot, should be given significantly more time to talk about their robot while they're here. Whatever we need to do to give people more time to make more than a 30-second presentation, I would be all for it.
Okay. Yeah. Pam, did you hear that?
Affirmative.
Okay. 'Cause I don't run the challenge meetings, but yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah,
It's up to say if you've got 20 robots.
yeah,
right
that's
there,
the problem.
you're limited
Sometimes
to
we have a lot of
5 minutes per,
participation.
And that takes a total of
Choose a
2
few
hours.
Choose a few that have a really meaty project that are willing to talk about it.
Yeah. That's what we're about, is talking about interesting robots, so, yeah, we should do that. Okay, so, the executive committee got together and we sort of voted this whole proposal, and the people, they're okay with it? I mean, show of hands, changing, yeah, that's kind of what I thought would happen, so.
Another idea, we could do if you really want to, is just like go even more challenges, like do like February, April, June, double up like 5 challenges.
We could, to me, that feels like overdoing it, so what I'd just like to do is spread it out a little more, try that for a year. We can always change things the following year. I mean, there's nothing holding.
We always have show and tell every
Yeah, we have show and tell every meeting, so, I mean, everybody has an opportunity to show off their robots. I was going to say something, but it just slipped my mind, so it doesn't matter. With that, I think I'm going to hand it back to Osmond.
Thanks, Wayne. Okay, one other bit of news I wanted to make an announcement about is do you want to talk about the robots on ice?
Hi there, I'm Tully. I used to make it here regularly. Unfortunately, I've been a little busy recently. But coming up this January, there's going to be a fun event in downtown Sunnyvale. The Silicon Valley Ice Skating Association has been working with the city of Sunnyvale to get an ice rink downtown. It opens this Friday, but on January 11th, they're putting on an event called Robots on Ice. It's going to be an opportunity to take robots out, play on an ice rink. Also, there will be areas around the rink, booths, etc. If you want to show off a robot, we'd love to have you bring your robot and come show it off to the greater community. It's going to be right by the Sunnyvale Farmers Market. There'll be a lot of foot traffic, a lot of people coming by. There's going to be educational events and lots of other things that we're looking forward to having people showing off, building interest in robots. So if you have a robot and you want to come show it off, please talk to me or Sarah, who's here, and hopefully Harmon and Spencer, our other organizing committee, will be here later as well. So
What time is it, and is there a website where we can find out more about it?
it'll start at 11 on January 11th. And if you search for Robots on Ice Sunnyvale on Google, you'll find it. There's a Splash That page and a Facebook page.
Is HBRC going to have like an official table, or is it just a free-for-all kind of
I'm
structure?
not aware of anyone who's been,
I don't think anyone has volunteered to organize such a thing, but if anyone would like to, sounds like a good idea. Would there be room to do that?
Yeah, we definitely make space. So if someone would like to volunteer to have a official HBRC presence there, we'd love to have that. And you could help sort of coordinate with all the robots from the community.
Yeah, we should post something. Could you post something to the Google group about that, asking for volunteers?
Sure.
Great.
Is that website have specific rules about, obviously you're on ice, right?
Yep.
So slick wheels are not a no-go, but rules
Whoa,
about
whoa.
what you can.
We don't know that.
For example, you can't have wheels
We
with
need to
cleats,
experiment.
obviously.
Flamethrowers, okay?
Is something like that stated?
There's nothing there stated right now. Right now, if you have an idea, please send us an email. There's a contact email on the website, and we sent an email to the HBRC mailing list already. I'll send another for a volunteer to coordinate a specific booth, but basically we can't damage the rink.
Of course.
But if you have a small robot, like little tiny studs aren't going to hurt the ice. So
I don't have one.
we don't have anything specific, but please reach out to us if you have any ideas, and we'll iterate with you individually.
I want to hack it
Cool.
boning.
Thank you.
All right. Does anybody else have any general club-related news or robot-related news? Going once, going twice. Yes?
Oh, we're doing an AI and data science conference at the Hacker Dojo in mid-January.
AI data science conference at the Hacker Dojo in mid-January.
Quantum computing / kind of AI data science.
And how would somebody find out more information about this?
It still hasn't been quite nailed down, but it'll be on the schedule, so I can post to the group. But,
Okay.
So we're trying to get a group of us that are focusing on quantum computing and data science AI.
All right.
But robotics ties into that.
Keep an eye out on the Google group for more information.
For that $100 quantum
What was it?
computer.
What was the date?
Yes, Wayne?
I just want to do a call out to Maker Nexus.
Okay.
Okay.
I just wanted to, as you folks know, Tech Shop went away, and it's been an ugly little year or two as we've tried to get our maker spaces back in place here. And we now have one in Sunnyvale called Maker Nexus. They're open for business, and I just want, if people are interested in maker spaces, we should probably support this one because, as I said, Tech Shop went away. How many people here have been to Maker Nexus? A fair number. It's pretty solid. Okay. I definitely like the vibe of the place. It's a non-profit, so there's no profit motive going on there.
Is it possible to get an HBRC group membership?
I don't know. We can ask. Okay. So in addition, we have been running our SIGs there for a little while. Okay. For those of you who don't know what I mean when I say SIG, SIG stands for Special Interest Group. It doesn't really mean all that much. All it means is it's another meeting where you can go and it's unstructured. You show up with robots and you have fun. Okay, and a number of people go to the SIGs. I missed last month, but how many people made it to the SIG this past month? Yeah, a small number. Okay. In addition, there's another sort of side group called SV ROS for Silicon Valley ROS, and ROS stands for Robot Operating System. And they meet at the same time, same place. So we got a fair number of people showing up. So anyhow, it's a nice place where we can meet, and, you know, it's in Sunnyvale, so it's not that far from here. So I just wanted to do a call out there and let people know. Are there any members here? I know of at least one, so we have three Maker Nexus members, so that's excellent. Okay, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you very much.
Great. Thanks,
Could I just say a word about Maker Nexus?
Sure, go ahead.
So,
Let's take Mike.
yeah, my name is Mike, and I was involved in the tech shop and the thing that was called the shop.build, which was problematic from the start. I'm involved in Maker Nexus. I've also been involved in Santa Clara Adult Education. They have an excellent woodworking facility, one of the best in the area. And if you pay for classes, you get to use the facility, sort of thing. And I have to say that I've been Maker Nexus quite a few times. I just took 2 classes there this evening. They've qualified me on most of the equipment that's been out there. These people are in the business of enabling you and not getting in your way, unlike Tech Shop and very much like the shop. They go out of their way to remove the barriers, get you up and using their equipment. They seem to be, so far, very well managed. These people are very reasonable. I can't say enough good things about them. They're very close to the break even on the membership. I think they need 200, and they're very near the 200 on this thing. It's a smallish facility. They have a different ethic about use of the equipment, which is that you are responsible for this stuff. If you break something, you tell somebody about it. You help them fix this thing. You keep the thing clean all the time. It isn't, oh, I use this, I'll just clean up my area. The whole thing is your responsibility, and so far, everybody is doing that. I see messages come across all the time that I did something stupid, I broke this, and they're there to help you fix it, get equipment back up again. Almost everything is running all the time. I've seen very little down equipment. So, highly recommend the place. It's not everything I want, but it's a pretty darn good thing. Membership is $150 a month for individual membership.
All right. Thanks for that info.